Some say that civilizations first began when humans learned how to cultivate crops. Most nomadic tribes needed some other source of food that would allow them to stay stationary and build up a society. Over decades of selective breeding, such as with maize in Mesoamerica, crops became better suited for the environments that they were growing in and would be better able to support a society with a smaller amount of resources used. After World War II, this principle played out strongly. Many countries were struggling with a rapidly growing population and a lack of arable land. Traditional crop growing methods were proving ineffective in a more modern and interconnected world, and multiple plant diseases were running rampant. Only by adopting new technologies and developing new crops were these nations able to avoid total collapse, and the man who led this revolution, this green revolution, was Norman Ernest Borlaug. Norman Borlaug was born in 1914 in Iowa, a descendant of Norwegian immigrants. He worked on his family farm and attended a small one-room rural school until 8th grade. In high school, he was on the wrestling team, which proved to be a large motivator to him in college and later in life. He attended the University of Minnesota, joined in the forestry program, and later focused on plant pathology. He temporarily put his education on hold to gain some financial stability and joined the Civilian Conservation Corps as a leader. During the wartime years, Borlaug was employed at the DuPont Chemical Corporation, where some of his projects aided in supplying resources to stranded troops. After his job at DuPont, he traveled to Mexico, where he started to work on the Cooperative Wheat Research Production Program, where he worked to breed better wheat strands. This is where he made his large impact on the world. Most crops at the time could not grow either quickly enough or efficient enough to support a growing population, so people resorted to greater deforestation to gain more arable land. Borlaug spent years planting wheat seeds in plots and selecting plants that exhibited the traits desired, then crossbred these strains with other varieties to create high-yielding varieties that had thicker stalks, were resistant to diseases, and were able to be grown in numerous different climates. He expanded his research to India and Pakistan, and later to Latin America and African countries, breeding other cereal crops. The impact that Norman Borlaug had on the world was widespread. In developing these techniques of picking the best traits of various crops and combining them, he helped slow the degradation of the environment. People were now able to grow more crops in a smaller amount of area, slowing down deforestation and decreasing the greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere. For all of his efforts, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1970. The production increases fostered by the Green Revolution are often credited with having helped to avoid widespread famine and for feeding billions of people, making his name synonymous with the man who saved 1 billion lives.
My name is Norman Borlaug. I'm going to save 1 billion lives. There's one. So many lives. 5,040 lives. Would you look at that? 1 billion lives. Ironic. He couldn't save his own.